My name's Alyssa Roach. I am a sculpture major. I'm an artist, a lover, a fighter, and I live in Philadelphia, but I'm originally from Jamaica and all over. I do believe that there are multiple versions of myself. I think in migrating somewhere, it's always like you leave a part of yourself behind everywhere you go. And I think that I exist digitally, but also in reality as two different people, and digitally as multiple people. Yeah. Going to therapy. I do a lot of journaling as well. I think controlling my own perception is like getting increasingly difficult, especially with like leaving school and like a lot of things being up in the air in my own life. It's like I have less to define myself by, which is freeing, but scary. Yeah. I think with conversations with other people, I think I solidify my authenticity, because I think that people act as a mirror in certain ways. And so what you critique or like about other people in a conversation is usually what is already in yourself. I love the internet. I think I grew up like searching for alternate realities from like a very young age. Like I was always playing like Club Penguin and like Build-A-Bear and like existing in these other realms, which my mom always brings up, where she's like, oh, I get why you love Instagram, because you were always doing that. And I think as a generation, it's weird that we had access to building lives outside of actual life. I think it's constantly changing. And I always run into the fear that I'm like trying to be cool online. And I think like the way that I share things is in like huge bursts, and then I stop and I analyze. I think in terms of like as a Black woman, like in terms of hair, a lot. It's like that's always the thing that you want to change. I think that there's just so many examples of like who you could be that it's difficult to choose one thing. Yes, life is definitely an illusion. I think there's a lot going on under the surface that we're not aware of, like spiritually and digitally, and if those are linked, for sure. Yeah, and I think that memory is very unreliable, and so is reality even reality, like who's to say? I think the ability to have unique objects keeps me a little sane. That it's mine, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that in finding a sense of self, it's like, oh, well, I have this thing that no one else has. Or in seeing other people and being like, I want that. I think that the way everyone perceives the world is different. And so I think that my individuality comes from my perspective. And that's one thing that like can't be taken from you. I wish it could be freer. Like I always want my mind to be a little more free. How could it be more free? I have no idea, because I'm not free yet.
My name is Cole Roberts. I'm 22, and I'm an artist, producer, and I live in Philly. Given the current state of social media and everything, there's like a balance between your online self and your real self, and then they're constantly in this like turmoil of like which one is holding that standard of the other one up, and then trying to balance that is like what I'm currently reckoning with, and I think what most people our age are reckoning with. Try to find things that ground myself, for sure. I like to meditate, listen to music, just create things, and be in a constant state of motion, or try to control my stillness and breathing. Yeah, grounding, for sure. I mean, I think like everybody else my age, I think I got on it too early. I think I'm online probably way more than I should be, for sure. But my relationship is confusing. I think something I struggle with is like, again, maintaining the many different versions of yourself, and then having to live up to those expectations, or like looking at yourself and then like feeling as if you're not a certain way that you should be, whether that be too skinny or too feminine or too talkative. I don't know, there's many things. I think if you want to keep sane in this life, you have to be a little insane and kind of hold things lightly. And just find inspiration in everything, I guess. It's the way I do it, at least. But I do think that your waking life is influenced by stuff that is beyond our perception, whether that be our dreams or just like spiritual happenings, for sure. But I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we will never even begin to comprehend, or we shouldn't comprehend, because it's not for us, but it's happening. I like to think that I'm a minimalist of sorts. I don't have too many objects, but I feel like the objects I have serve as purposes. Like, I have a lot of books, a lot of music equipment, a lot of tools, a lot of film equipment. I like to think if I don't use something at least once or twice a month, then I shouldn't really have it. I don't know, I think I'm a sum of the people around me, and I'm a sum of my influences. I don't think that I'm necessarily an individual. I think I'm inspired by art, music, the people I'm close to, for sure. I don't know if I'm as much of I am an individual as much as I am a sum of the people around me, for sure. I think we're all tethered to some sort of reality, for sure. I would say no.
My name is Riham Dib. I go by Lamb Chop and Chaos. Those are two personalities that I've been developing over the past year and a half or so. I don't know, like I divide who I am. There's many sides to me, and to answer that is like very difficult. But Lamb Chop is she's the organized one. She doesn't play. Like she comes out and she's like, Lamb Chop is here. She ain't here to fucking play. Like she gets me on track. You know what I mean? Like she keeps me on track when I have to do like boring work, design work. I have to stay on the computer for hours. Like she's like, come on. And then Chaos is just like the opposite of Lamb Chop. Like she's like the creative. She likes to come out when it's like fashion related. She's like the fashion god. I like her because when I'm in VR or virtual reality, she likes to like just play around. She doesn't really have any type of thoughts. There's no thinking when she comes. With Lamb Chop, it's very calculated. And then Rehab, she's very much perfectionist, and she's kind of like right now kind of trapped by the definition she gave herself, and that's to be successful, you know. She's kind of, I don't want to say dead, but I'm not really taking the time for her right now because she needs a break. So with my new versions, it's more like it's a lot free. It's freeing to give yourself like a new name. It's freeing to give yourself like a new narrative. It's freeing just to let yourself be whoever the fuck it needs to be. And yeah. I've met so far like 5. Okay, there's 5. At the end of the day, they're all just projections of me. They're all just projections of my inner thought process, my soul. I think that comes with like, I'm very much the type of person that lives in my own world. Like I paint my own worlds. There was a period of time where I slept under this painting I made of this different galaxy, and I just would sleep under it, and I swear on my life, like I started to have dreams in that world. And I wasn't like, I disconnected from this reality completely. And I was just simply living in my own fantasy. And during those times when I felt the most authentic, because I wasn't really here. And sometimes I'm not really here. I get less interested in bullshit. I genuinely don't really care about what anyone thinks. On Instagram, I don't really think before I post because I'm also I'm not here. So when I say anything or do anything in this realm, it's just me being bored with a phone. Like, you know when you give a kid a phone and then they're just kind of doing anything, they're just like bullshitting? That's kind of like me. The internet is so fun. Ever since I got on Instagram, I was already kind of like, okay, well, let me go back before Instagram. Before that, I always saw it as some type of like INDU, Stardoll type of. I loved Stardoll. Don't even start. Even when I was a kid, I would have different accounts, being different people, like always. And same with INDU. Like I just had different scenarios. I had different agendas. I had different lives. It just, to me, that was fun. Like I like that shit. On Instagram, it's like, when I first got Instagram, I was like already photoshopping myself like real weird. Like I like doing that shit. I was like, this is fake. I'm gonna be whoever I want to be. Like LOL. And I don't know. It's like pretty fun to piss people off because it's like people are so sensitive and like small-minded. And I don't know. I like being a troll a little bit. Like I was a Twitter troll for a minute. Kind of like just basically package myself and brand myself properly because I really think that everyone's a brand, right? And although I have many personalities, there's a certain brand that I would like to give forefront of who I am, and that is like I want to be an artist. And when I say artist, it's very like it's like a layered word. You know, I don't have like one medium I like to use, but I do want to be seen as like an artist. Period. I also really want to look like, I don't know, like Arabian pop stars. Like the way they do their makeup is so freaking inspiring when I was a kid. Like I want to look like that mixed with like a traditional Algerian woman. Like back in the day when they were like jewelried up, they had tattoos everywhere. For a while, I was in my world, jumping through different realities and different dimensions. Well, I'm an individual in some senses, but like not everyone is a complete individual. Because I have a need to belong to certain groups. I have a need to belong to a certain idea, not even a group, an idea. You know what I mean? But what makes me specifically an individual? I always go back to like my art. Like it's just something that I really do excel at because it's not really, there's not much thought into it. When I say that, I mean there's not really overthinking when it comes to it. It's just me being me. It's me expressing whatever is hurting, whatever I'm thinking about, or whatever is like aching on my heart. I don't think it was, but then like I literally had a like fucking neurological breakdown. Literally lost my fucking mind. And this is also after I was sleeping underneath my painting and going into the painting. I was going to the painting every night, and I swear to God, when I would be sleeping all day, and I don't really do that. Then I would sleep all day under this painting and just be in this different world. And when I wake up, this world was so weird, and then just like, I don't know, I broke down. I don't remember a lot of it, but basically when I like came out of that moment of my life, I felt so clear. It's like I could like breathe again. It's like something died, and I always said it was Reham that died because like I just didn't feel her burdens anymore. So when that happened, I kind of felt free because like a piece of my personality, one of the 5 personalities I have was gone, and I didn't have to like think about that anymore. But I don't know. I don't think I'll be free. My mind will be free, like fully free, So I live in a curved home. Like, I really want a curved home. I want to live in a house that is no angles, none of this shit. I don't like angles. They piss me off. Like, actually, I want to live in a completely curved architectural space. And when I'm in that place, I'm going to be free as fuck. I really think I will be like zen completely.